What is up, guys? Jackson here at Toasty DIY, and today I am fully geared up because we're getting ready to go for a ride in the 2023 Ducati Monster. I made a video last year when I received this bike, and I realized I have not done an update video. Still in the break-in period. I need to actually bring it in soon to go and get the first service done, but we're at 553 miles, or 543, and we literally got this bike towards the beginning of last year, so yeah, didn't get a whole lot of usage, but when I do use it, I definitely love using it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing cold started. Alright guys, well, we were riding the bike. We picked a really good day for it, so right now it's I think like in the 70s. Sun's kind of setting soon. So definitely really good weather, but the bike is pretty much all stock still. The only things I've done is I've added a couple of pouches for carrying things, and then I've also added this cell phone mount right here, which I've had a lot of people ask me about, do you trust the cell phone mount? And I've gone on some pretty long rides. I mean, obviously I don't have a ton of miles to prove that, but I've gone on some good rides, and it hasn't fallen off. It was like a $70 mount, so. The bike itself, though, I mean, man, it's a Ducati. It has the 937 B twin, so not really a whole lot more I could ask for. It's also one of the cheaper Ducatis, as far as a brand new Ducati goes. You can pick up one of these bikes. Now this one's a 2023, so they're probably starting to pretty much get rid of them, but I think a little over 12,000, maybe 13, once you're including tax and everything. I think mine with destination fees and all that good stuff was closer to probably 14 or 15, honestly, but still, didn't seem like too bad of a deal for a Ducati, especially one with the engine this large, and has quick shift and everything, which I honestly don't even use. I've been told by a lot of people, though, that I should start using it. I don't know, haven't really felt the need yet. I've kind of enjoyed riding the bike, in more of a manual form. Fork monster. It's kind of what Ducati in general is known for, I feel like, especially with V-twin. Not really interested in like the high revving 4-cylinders. They're more interested in really large displacement twin cylinders, so that you can get a lot of low end torque without needing to keep the RPM like super high, but you definitely have the ability to do that. And it must have just rained over here. It wasn't even wet when I left the house, so I guess I'm probably gonna have to ride a little bit softer than normal, but I by no means am a very hardcore rider. I definitely usually go, just pretty close to the speed limit. This bike, what's cool about it is you can actually do that. That was one thing I was kind of worried about with it, was am I gonna have to, ride this bike more aggressive, or is it gonna be hard to ride if I don't ride aggressive? And honestly, I went from a KTM Duke 390, which is a 373 single cylinder, to this bike, and it honestly isn't a whole lot different. I mean, obviously in terms of the throttle, you barely have to touch it and you're going. Whereas the Duke, I could actually kind of ring out to the end. This bike, I'm not sure I've yet to reach the end of the throttle in any gear. You just don't really feel the need to once you drive it. Yeah, with it being wet, I'm not trying to really, I'll try to get the RPM up just so you guys can kind of hear the nice Ducati sound, but I'm not really going to give any hardcore acceleration. The last thing I want is to lay this bike out. And it does have a full digital display. You can fully navigate. You can even do things like take lap times and whatnot, so it's a pretty versatile display, I would say. Now, one thing I will say about this bike, and it's just like any other naked bike, you gotta have a good amount of, I guess I would say, courage to go really fast on this bike. It's kind of what it's designed for, but with it not having fairings and no windshield or anything, you do really get blown around a lot. Honestly, I would say like once you get, I think personally over 70 on this bike starts to feel a little bit sketchy. Not because of the bike necessarily, but your whole body is just kind of flying around. You feel your head, you know, kind of flapping around in the wind depending on your helmet. So, like I said, very much my opinion. I know I've seen videos of people managing to do like 135 on these things. Now, as far as comfort on the bike goes, it's pretty comfy. You know, it has a nice seat to it. With the passenger, I've been told it's not the comfiest, but it's definitely not the worst. You know, it does have a passenger seat and pegs. I think one of the things that the Plus actually came with was the rear seat cover, if I'm remembering right now. And I had that at the house. I've never used it, but nonetheless, you know, it's a fairly comfy bike. I definitely could do like some longer rides. I think the longest I've done on this bike so far was about 4 hours. I did about 90 miles of back road the other day, and that was fun. It was enjoyable. I definitely was sore afterwards, so it's definitely not as comfy as like a cruiser would be, or maybe like a dual sport. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys could tell, but that was me just I was using the throttle like maybe a quarter of a pull before each shift. And for someone like me, you know, coming from a you know, a small like single cylinder bike, you know, it's a lot. And that's something I do have to add is, you know, if it's, I doubt a lot of people would look at this for their first bike. I'd be incredibly surprised, but it's definitely not a recommended first bike. Now, I don't think that this is like a expert level bike. It's definitely just a higher end naked bike, basically. They definitely don't usually make, you know, naked bikes typically at higher cylinder displacement. Even a lot of the older monsters, besides like, you know, they'd have like a 1200, but most of them were like anywhere from, you know, 6 to 800 cc. So this one, you know, weighing as little as it does and having the amount of power, it's definitely one of the fastest ones. I mean, even the 0 to 60 is just a tad over 3 seconds. And there is an insane amount of heat that comes through the radiator and like the sides of the engine. And I'm sure that you could get covers to maybe somewhat help with that, but I will definitely tell you all that it is a hot bike. And in traffic, when the fan starts blowing, you know, once you're hitting like 212. Anyways, yeah, once you're hitting like 212 and the fan starts blowing and you're sitting still, this thing is like stupid hot. And that's with wearing, you know, jeans. You almost kind of need to get some nicer like Kevlar jeans or something. Well guys, that was the Ducati Monster ride. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you did. Hopefully we'll have some more content kind of surrounding the Ducati coming up. But winter is coming, but so is fall. So with fall, we'll hopefully get some more ride time in before that happens. See you guys later. Peace out.